Hey y'all, I'm back with the Project Life process and this is for week 9. So I'm just starting by organizing my cards and my photos, and these are my DIY cards that I created in my last video. So if you haven't seen that and you want to see how I created these, definitely check out that video. I'm just, like I said, starting by organizing those, and I actually had them pretty well organized and laid out before this video started, and then I forgot that I hadn't snapped a photo of them, so I wanted to do that quickly. I did that and then I tried to get them back in the order that I had them in. I couldn't figure it out, but I think it turns out okay, and I get it to where I have a pretty nice balance here at the end. And plus, I add embellishments and papers and stuff like that that kind of help out. Um, I'm going to do a front side and a back side, and I almost always do that on these process videos, just because I try to get if I'm going to film it, I try to get a pretty good amount of process in there for you guys to see. Plus, I fast forward it so much that I want you guys to be able to see, a good amount of footage. But here's where I'm just kind of going to start working on this front side. And I want to say that before I started this process, I picked out some things that I thought I may use. And these letters that I'm using right now are Heidi Swapp letters. And then that little 9 that I used is a Studio Calico piece. I chose some pattern papers, and the one that I'm matting my photo on right now is Print Shop by Shannon Noel. I think it's a Studio Calico paper, and it was designed by Shannon Noel, I guess I should say. But I chose several papers that I thought may go with these collection of cards that I created. And the reason I did that is because number one, the cards all have a white base with a pattern on it. So I had to be very careful with like what I chose. I didn't want to choose anything that would clash too much. And I mostly wanted to choose solid colored papers, or papers that had like the background was a solid color but it had a print maybe on top of it versus it being a white background. Now I said that and then I matted that first photo on like a white paper with like black text, but I think that actually turned out okay because it wasn't super colorful. The rest of the papers I choose are I've got a lot of like colors going on, so I know I kind of went a little bit too into detail about that. But I used the arrow that I used on the second photo is a Heidi Swapp arrow. I think it's like a planner sticker from Michaels. I used a cork piece on the top card from Studio Calico, and then a homemade butterfly embellishment, and then the second card underneath that picture, it says like Hello Sunshine. It's one of my crepe paper clusters. So if you haven't seen that video, I created a bunch of clustered embellishments, and you guys can check that out. And I just pulled one out that I thought may go with this page, and I was able to fill up that whole card. It was just kind of a filler card, and I needed something to fill it, and that was like the perfect embellishment, and it was already put together, and it looks like I put a lot of time and effort into that particular card. So I like that little puffy sticker. I think it's a Manby puffy sticker. It says life, and I really liked that. But I decided that I didn't want it to just say life, so I added this, and I added it in those same navy stickers from, I think I got them from Michaels, but they're Heidi Swapp. And then the bottom card, and I'm pretty much done with that side, but the bottom card was just different scriptures that I had been reading around that time, and then I just added simply because the whole point was just to show, I had been really interested in, reading. I think at the time I was like reading the Gospels or something, and I wanted to document that, and so I wasn't so much concerned about what it said as much as I was concerned about kind of documenting that I was really into the Gospels at the time. So I put a love sticker right on top, which I thought added a little something extra. So now onto this page. I am looking at some of the pattern papers. I had forgotten that I pulled a bunch of these I think they're Webster's pages, and I want to say they're Alison Kreft. I had forgotten that I pulled a bunch of those out that I have not used. I seriously bought these like 2 years ago, and I think it was like I remember for some reason, I remember scrapbooking an Easter picture, and I used some of these papers and I never used them again. And so I had forgotten about those. So I pulled those out, and it really helps whenever you haven't bought a bunch of stuff in a long time because you're really using up your things. But I used a little flare button. I think that was an Amy Tan flare button. And then here's some Amy Tan papers that I just use my punches. I love like little cut apart papers that you can punch stuff like little icons right from those particular papers, and so I use that ampersand to do that. And then here are some just little ephemera pieces. That I think that ephemera piece is like it's an Amy Tan piece, I believe, and then a little arrow. And then I went ahead and did my journaling on my typewriter, and that just says, this week we had your 2-month doctor's appointment, and I realized I said you 2-month instead of yours, so I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. But it basically says, this week we had your 2-month doc appointment. You weighed 11 pounds 10 ounces and were 23 and a quarter inches long. You were not happy about your 2-month shots, but you did really well. It made mommy super sad to see you cry. I can't believe that you're already 2 months old. You're so loved. So that was what I wrote in the little journaling. And then I'm just trying to document that obviously she's 2 months, and trying to look at these different sticker sheets. That first sticker sheet was, I believe that is like a Jen Hadfield homemade sticker sheet. And those are the type of sticker sheets that's like super cardstock stickers, like thick. And so those can be really good, but sometimes they're kind of, it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time. They're really good quality, but sometimes they like pop off really easily and are hard to stick down. So if you're using really good adhesive, those are perfect. And then I just used a little punched butterfly there on that bottom card right over the other butterflies that I did with my Distress ink. And I'm just adding some little details here and there. Those little phrase stickers, somebody asked me about those. I think in not my last video, but the video before that, they had asked if I was using my typewriter or if I was using phrase stickers, and those are from Snap, and I think they're called Life Documented. But here are some of the final photos. I have quite a bit of photos, and if you're wondering about the backdrop, I ordered that off of Amazon, so I may link that below. It's just a roll of like wood paper, and it looks real. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great week.